Kurlander. I'm Scott Kurland, and we have a great show for you tonight. My guest is a lovely young actress who is in her third season of the web series Fade to Reality. Anna Rizzo is on the show tonight. Let's do this thing, shall we? This week, the Nobel Prize in Literature was awarded and announced that Alice Munro has won it, the author of such books like The Bear Came Over the Mountain. Celebrating literary works is an amazing accomplishment, and for our teenage viewers, a book is that thing that you're using to wedge your door open with. U.S. Military Admiral William McRaven released a statement today discussing their plans to build their own Iron Man type of suit. But the real winner here is McRaven's 5-year-old boy who convinced his father that an Iron Man suit could be a real thing. Also, in future news, Admiral William McRaven has been fired for actually building an Iron Man suit. The paper doll company Shotwell Paper Mill is taking a new spin on the paper doll. The latest paper doll book showcases Women in Uniform, a book filled with realistic military uniforms. That's right, get them while they're young. How does that conversation with your daughter even go? Honey, I got you a paper doll book. Are they princesses? No! Even better! Female corporals and naval officers! You're going to be a Marine! After years of believing that Samuel Clemens' pen name Mark Twain came from a riverboat captain he met in his travels, it was revealed this week that the name comes from a burlesque sketch called The North Star. So in addition to being a brilliant author, we learned that he was also naughty. John Boehner offered a short-term deal to the government shutdown. Boehner offered the President and Senate far less than what they wanted. If this goes on, the shutdown could go all the way until Thanksgiving, which means that Thanksgiving will be remembered for all of eternity as that time we give thanks that we can step foot in a national park again. Contemporary artists Jeff Koons and Sarah Lucas are showcasing our historical heritage through erotic literature. In addition to showing revolutionary history through erotica, they depict the Cold War through erotica. Sorry, I can't stop giggling whenever I hear the word erotica. I can't help it. Erotica. In China, scientists have proof that Sprite is the ultimate hangover cure, better than breakfast, greasy foods, or morning cocktails. That's right, scientists. Yeah, I believe that a scientist got blackout drunk in Hong Kong, woke up in a convenience store with a pounding headache, and said, "Oh, look, a Sprite. This must be the ultimate hangover cure." And by gum, it was. Also, who are these scientists drinking at work? Boy, I hope these aren't the same guys trying to cure cancer. Alec Baldwin said that his new MSNBC show will not be going for cheap laughs like Comedy Central does. Then he went on a Twitter rampage, swearing at journalists and complaining about his daughter's fashion style, or as Alec Baldwin calls it, Thursday. Yen moves one step closer to becoming global currency. Wait a minute. The yen wasn't global currency already? So in 2008, I was tricked into investing in yen as top dollar currency? What was I investing in? What was I investing in? The Canadian loonie. I was investing in the Canadian loonie. Oh no. I have currency with kids playing hockey on it. Well played, Canada. Well played. Mitch McConnell has took it upon himself to try and single-handedly end the government shutdown. If he is successful, then McConnell will be a hero in the eyes of the world and become a national treasure to America, are all things he is saying to himself while he sits in his own rocking chair. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Kurlander. I'm still Scott Kurland. I did not change during the break. This week, a Texas man had his friends dress up as kidnappers. Then the friends snuck into his house, and in front of the man's wife, they kidnapped him. Then they drove off and had a guy's night, drinking, playing cards, and drinking even more. The man faked his own kidnapping because he's afraid of his wife. That act of pure stupidity brings us to tonight's The Tirade. First off, his name is Rogelio Andaverde, and he looks absolutely terrifying in this semi-mugshot, which bears the question, how scary is his wife? Is it just him with a wig on? Is she even a real person? On the evolutionary scale of events that led to this brilliant decision, how did it evolve? Was faking his own death too extreme? Did he gather his friends and they just bounced ideas off each other? Like a writer's room on a sitcom? Also, what is that pitch like? All right, I got a great idea. You pull into the driveway and you step on a landmine. No, too dangerous. Next. Okay, you get hit by a bus. No, then she'll want to come with me to the hospital. Next. How about we get dressed up in ski masks, sneak into your house. Stop right there. I see where you're going with this, and I am totally on board. This just feels like a half-baked idea, right? Of course it is! He kidnapped himself in order to go drinking with his friends. There is no silver lining here. He committed a crime when he was pretending to commit a crime. How dumb do you have to be to pretend to be kidnapped, made to look like the victim, and then you fess up to kidnapping yourself in order to go drinking? Then he got arrested, thrown in jail, which I know what you're all thinking. Good, he deserved it. Yet you have to wonder, how much is he getting taunted in jail? And another thing, your wife spent 4 to 5 hours in a police station on the Mexican-Texas border filling out police reports. If you thought she was scary before, talk to her after she spent the night next to an illegal immigrant and a Texas prostitute. I'm guessing she's not going to be as enthralled or thrilled to see you as you hope she would have been. The thing I don't understand about this whole kidnapping thing, and there are many, and maybe someone can explain it to me, was there ever a way of actually pulling this off without any questions asked? You know she's going to have a million questions, like, where did they take you? Could you see anything? These are the minor details you need to think about when you're getting bombed with your friends. You came home smelling of beer. How were you going to talk your way out of that? I'm sure she wouldn't believe they were the greatest kidnappers ever. Oh, you know, honey, we played Grand Theft Auto 5, had some beers, shared a couple of laughs. Wait, how did you play Grand Theft Auto 5 if you were blindfolded? Is your only response. Also, if you hate her that much, get a divorce or a separation or something. And if you kidnap yourself, don't return home. You just gave yourself the perfect out. Returning after one night is like a soap opera, a really crappy soap opera. You know, like Telemundo. This just goes to prove that you aren't a responsible person, let alone a responsible husband, because you totally broke the second the police questioned you. The way you went from they showed mercy and saw the error of their ways to, yeah, I kidnapped myself to go drinking, was a matter of seconds. Not minutes, literally seconds. So I'm guessing that not only did you lose at handling the police, but you probably lost the card game you were playing because you have no poker face. And finally, I'm shocked I got through any of this because I thought I was going to be at a loss for words. Okay, here we go. What episode of The Flintstones did you get this gem of an idea from? Because I don't remember the episode where Fred has Barney kidnapped in order to go to the Buffalo Lodge. I may be mistaken, But if that isn't an episode of the Flintstones, it totally should be. I'm not saying you're the dumbest and worst man on the planet. I'm saying you're the dumbest and worst man in the universe. But here's the truth, the honest to goodness truth. If you had gotten away with it and didn't break down crying, if you kept your cool and stuck to your story, you would have been a genius. I'm serious. You would have been a god. But you cried like a little girl, and I just taunted you for the last half of the show. Tirade ended. We will be back with Anna Rizzo. All right, welcome back to the Kurlander. My guest tonight is Anna Rizzo of the TV series Fate to Reality off of Skitcom Productions.
For me that I attract such creepy men into my life.
If I had to take a guess, I'd say it's your haircut.
Could be the way you dress.
You never wear those girly shoes.
Personality plays into it, Sam.
Have you ever tried talking with a different voice? Yours is not so good.
What's wrong with my voice? Okay, and what's wrong with how I dress? Look, why don't you go on with my friend Charlie? Charlie's great. What does Charlie do?
Anna, thank you so much for being here.
No problem, my pleasure.
All right, we had Dave on our previous episode, and basically he was talking about this season and how it's kind of changed in tone. All right, so if anyone isn't familiar with the show, tell them about your character.
All right, well, my character on the show is Sam, and Sam is the only girl of 3 original roommates. The premise was that she was the ex-girlfriend of the 2 other roommates' best friend, and that when they broke up, the best friend moved out. So she's kind of just stayed with them. And so the show kind of revolves around, in the previous 2 seasons, the show has revolved around 3 20-somethings who don't really do anything with their lives, claim they all annoy each other, and yet don't seem to get much done without each other. And so my character is, she's kind of a political, likes to think that she's a political activist. She blogs about things. But again, it's a lot of big ideas, but not necessarily like getting down and doing things.
What was the word that she created for journalism?
Journalizing.
Journalizing. I loved that. That was great. Like, that's not
the technical term.
Yeah. So basically, this season, it feels like Sam and Dave are getting closer. Like, everyone who I talk to Dave all the time. We bounce ideas off each other for scripts, and he bounced this off of me that people said, like, oh, they should date. I'm like, no, they're brother and sister.
Yeah. Well, then that's exactly it. Is that they really just like claim they despise each other and say that they hate each other, but then at the end of the day, they also don't do anything without each other. So
yeah, they really stick up for each other. Like, even with, if anyone hasn't seen the show, there's a character named Cambridge. He's crazy. Honestly, does he annoy you? Like, in the show, his character annoys you?
Oh, in the show, absolutely. In person, he's lovely.
Well, yeah, it's Rob Hawking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But the character, you either think he's hysterical or you hate it.
Well, it's hysterical because you hate it.
Right. That bow that he does when he enters a room.
Oh, yeah.
That killed me. How
Yeah.
many takes did that take you to get through that?
Well, I think I was lucky because I was off camera, I think, the first time we did that. But he will actually go through and do the entire bow, even if it's not being shown on camera. So there's been a couple times where we've gone to film, and, like, Dave calls action, and, like, there's, like, kind of a silence, and he's not entering the frame right away. It's because he's, like, going through the gestures of the bow and everything.
That's great.
Commitment.
That is commitment. That's like method acting right there.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you met Dave on his movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you had a smaller part.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about that? Because it's coming out.
Yeah, he just saw it last night and
How
really
was it?
excited. Fantastic. He did a great job. He really did.
Yeah, he needs to pay you more.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the peanuts idea that he mentioned.
Oh,
I could collect a lot of peanuts. I'd be quite happy.
basically, that noise you're hearing right now is the sound of, like, money bells. It's like the cash register, ka-ching. So, this season, Sam, he hinted on our last episode that Sam finds someone?
Sort of. But I mean, the premise of our show is that there's not really a lot of progress.
Yeah, Sam's
that
slowly
happens.
becoming like the cartoon character Kathy. It's like, will she ever find love?
So she finds someone, but then she has a reason for not continuing to date them. And the reason's probably a pretty big one.
Yeah.
I think that episode is coming out soon. So
Yeah, Dave told me
you'll
about
see.
that one. But yeah.
That'll be a funny episode. I suspect that'll be a popular one.
I think so. See, now we're just teasing the
Yeah,
audience because
yeah.
I know, and Dave knows, and you know.
And we have two fantastic guest actresses in that episode. One is India Pearl, and she has some hysterical videos that she does online. She has a YouTube page that I believe is Miss India Pearl, but she's very funny. And then we also have Maria Natapov, who is just one of the nicest and most talented actresses around here. She's wonderful.
Yeah, I think, was India Pearl already on this season?
Yep. We
Yeah.
met her in the second
She was
episode,
your
Birthday
friend.
Bash. Yeah.
Yep, I
So she
remember
plays, yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about the Birthday Bash episode, your birthday party. It got destroyed.
Yeah,
Have
so-
you ever had a birthday like that?
Oh, I've had too many birthdays.
Yeah, me too.
And like I've had
Now
enough
we're just turning
birthdays.
into gossiping
I know.
gals.
Let's just cry. Let's just sit here and drink some water
I
and
should
cry.
have brought like pints of ice cream.
But I think that's what's funny about it is that like I think at some point we've all had enough birthdays that haven't gone well that when we get older there's some stress that comes with that day. Not necessarily the getting older, just the how you celebrate that day.
You're basically drinking a giant like jungle juice.
Yes.
Or was it supposed to be like Long Island iced tea? It was brown.
It was some sort of awful concoction that Sam had put into a.
But in Sam's world, it was probably like the greatest drink in the world. No.
They're pretty cheap. I don't think that she was spending the kind of money to make it the greatest drink in the world.
So it seems like, how does Sam keep getting talked into being in Dave's movies? Like last season, there's an entire episode where you're just waiting to get kissed by this guy, and that guy totally turns out to be like a flake. So I told you I watched the show. I'm not like interviewers who say I watched the show and then I have no idea what you're talking
Who
about.
are you? What's your character? Yeah. I think it's that sibling mentality where like at the same time like while she says like I hate this, I don't want to do this, at the same
She
time
loves
then
it.
she like she still's there. And the third sibling, Toad, is not in it as much this season. He has some growth. We'll see him write his book. He'll have some success, but I think that makes the other two dig in deeper then a little bit.
And what about you, actually, Anna Rizzo? You came here straight from a commercial.
Yeah.
So what have you been working on for like films and stuff?
Oh, lots of really cool projects. I'm really excited. I'm doing one feature film that's kind of a post-apocalyptic sci-fi action film, which the inner nerd in me is so
can't say
excited.
That and
So
just not
excited.
give us anything.
It's called Future Justice, and it should
Future
be out sometime next year.
Oh wow,
I'm really excited.
that sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, and it's
I'm a huge sci-fi geek.
yeah,
So
yeah. I've always wanted to do something like that, and it's just a wildly talented cast and crew. I mean, it's such a great group of people.
basically, what can you give anything away? Can you any?
Well, it kind of starts off with these soldiers who are out, like in space where they're housing a particularly dangerous criminal, and they come back and the world has been destroyed, and they don't really quite know what happens when they find some survivors that they start to realize
Kind of like
that.
Pitch Black.
Yeah, so they find some survivors and they start to kind of realize that
Is this
no
Vin
one
Diesel?
really knows. It is Vin Diesel. They find Vin Diesel. As all sci-fi movies go.
No, but basically, is it like just a killer after, or is the person they find, is he a killer? Is he a?
No, they find many people, and then they also find kind of roving kind of gangs of people who, like, so there's definitely like people who have kind of retained their humanity a little bit, and then people who have kind of gone into, a more visceral sort of
Is there any green
animalistic.
screening with this?
No, actually, they did such an
This
amazing
is all
job.
new because
yeah.
you people at home think you're seeing us in a room that just says my name all over it. But we're in a very green room right now.
Yeah, no, they did an amazing job. They just built these beautiful sets, and then we found, like, where they built the sets was this kind of abandoned Catholic school, which they had kind of torn down and started a renovation on, and then they ran out of money, so it's kind of like half torn down and like half there, so we kind of built around it, and they did an amazing job.
I need to know, are there sci-fi weapons?
There are.
That's awesome.
There are.
Now I'm just geeking
I
out.
know. It's so cool. Every
Is
time
it like
I go to
Buckaroo
set,
Banzai?
every time I go to set, I'm like, oh my god.
Is it Star Trek-y or is it like Star Wars or?
No, it's definitely different in that it's not. I mean, I think with both Star Trek and Star Wars, like, all of the technology they have is in its optimum working conditions. It's not kind of that they had that level and then it was ripped away, and they've kind of, so what they have that's high tech is kind of what they've been able to kind of build into this bunker that they live in, as
So
opposed
it's
to
like Walking Dead.
yeah. Cool.
Awesome. That is so cool. So that's the big project you're working on right now.
One of them. I've been lucky to have a lot going on right now. So
how
hopefully that continues.
All right. Dave's not here. How much fun is it working with Dave? Be honest.
Oh, I love working with Dave. I do.
Are you just
I
saying?
I do. But now that I know he can pay me in peanuts,
That is my.
Yeah.
I am sorry, Dave.
Yeah.
I am so sorry that she knows
we're
that
gonna
now.
have to have a talk after this.
It's a good thing you're not allergic. That'd be terrible.
I know.
It's like, oh, don't worry, I'll pay you. These will kill me.
Death peanuts. Yeah, no good.
So yeah, this season has been so funny so far. What has your favorite episode? Has it aired yet? Your favorite episode?
I don't really know. I mean, I think there's many things about the different episodes. Like, I loved Birthday Bash. Like, I love the end scene.
You say so much in that episode without saying anything.
Yeah.
Basically, you look so angry that entire episode.
Yeah, that's a great episode. I'm excited. We've got a lot of really good characters because Dave and I were kind of lamenting when Jonathan Potvin, who plays Toad, said he wasn't going to be around because we're like, oh, he's the more likable character. Like, everyone
So you
was
had
like,
to become more likable.
but that was the thing, is we were like, we're not going to be more likable. We need more characters who will be likable for us.
But I don't think that's the case. Sam's very likable. Like, you feel bad for her because you can never find love.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, everyone who comes up to me is like, yeah, you're pretty good. I love Toad. So.
It's because he's like a child, and it's like you two are the parents taking care of him. He is like a child who drinks.
He is. He is a drunk child.
But yeah. So basically, in the pilot, I've noticed this arc with Sam, where from the pilot, you've turned into such a different character. Like, how much input did you have?
Well, I think some of it is just kind of we've become really comfortable with each other as we film. But then I think a lot of it is that when she started off in the pilot, she doesn't really know them, and she's not really all that close with them. And they're kind of her ex-boyfriend's friends, who now she has to kind of become friendly with because she lives with them. And then I think over the course of time, like, I think we kind of saw in like the dinner party episode where the ex-boyfriend comes back and they all have an awkward dinner together.
That's how it would be in real life.
Yeah, well, and that like she's kind of like at that point has kind of like claimed them, I suppose, as her friends more so than
These are
him.
mine.
Yeah.
It's not like they're her friends. It's more like, these are my children. Because do you ever feel like you're taking care of Dave like all the time? Which is ironic because he drives you everywhere.
I'm sure Sam would tell herself that
Yeah.
that's what she's doing. But I think
meant Sam, it's like, you. I
think
swear
it's,
I'm not one of those people who believes you're really the character.
Some days.
So, sorry, water break. I've been doing that every episode now. So, with Sam, it's one character. What other characters have you played in like plays, movies?
Lots of different stuff. I think one of the, like, I play a survivor in Future Justice, and so I'm kind of just a regular woman who's, I think, in a much more vulnerable state. And then I just recently played kind of a more tough kind of trauma victim character, and I played psychotic killer to all sorts of things. And I love finding really different roles.
I said not talk about Sam.
They're all Sam.
That'd be amazing if you find out that everything's inside her head. There was no Dave. Dave's been dead for 20 years.
There you go.
And she has like a stuffed toad.
Season 6.
The twist, she has a stuffed toad. And Dave's just a Ken doll.
She's really in a mental hospital, and this is all...
Oh, it's like Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
This is all her hallucination.
But it would be like a good Sucker Punch.
Yeah. Yeah. That had a lot of potential.
Yeah, it really did. So, let's see. We're doing great on time.
Cool.
Yeah, it's almost up. But thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure.
Is there anything you want to pitch before? We always devote the last 2 minutes. Dave went all the way to the end. He talked the entire 2 minutes.
That's a lot of pressure.
Do you think you can do it?
I don't know.
We'll
try.
All right. So anything you want to pitch?
All right. Well, we've got 2 seasons of Skitcom that are fully out. You can go to the YouTube page. So it's the YouTube page is Skitcom TV. What did he say it was? I don't know.
Skitcom.tv.
Okay, skitcom.tv. Then we also have the Facebook page. We update the Facebook page pretty regularly. We post all the new episodes when they come out. You can also see some pictures and all sorts of stuff. The Facebook page is facebook.com/Skitcom Productions. And then we're also on Twitter, and so we're at Skitcom1. And I did not do as well as Dave.
What's been your favorite moment in the show? Just
favorite moment in the show? I don't even know. But we do have a lot of really great people coming up in this season that I'm looking forward to showing everyone. We kind of have another kind of new Toad-esque character named Greg, who comes in and kind of fills that void.
I actually know the guy who played Greg.
Yeah.
That's Ray. Mm-hmm. I worked at a movie theater with him. He hired me to be his projectionist, and he just kept me behind the concession stand the entire time. And, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be seeing Ray. We have India Pearl as Sam's friend, and we have Dave's dad, who I think is going to become...
But that's not really Dave's dad.
No, it's not really. Dave's dad is
Dave's
Gary
dad is your landlord.
Yes, the antagonist of the show.
Who plays Dave's dad? Because I always forget to ask Dave.
His name is Kirk. No, his name is not Kirk. His name is Bruce. He plays Kirk in the show. Can't show him this. But yeah.
Well, all right, you did it. I mean, I helped a little, but you made it to the very end. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, check out Fade to Reality off of Skitcom Productions. Funny show.